So till now we have deployed our contract on Remix local VM environment. Now we will move further and deploy the same contract to Avalanche Fuji Testnet. So I hope you guys have already added Avalanche Fuji Testnet to your MetaMask and got some test AVIX. If not, then you can go and watch the tutorial one. In that, like, I have gone through the steps to do the same. So the link might be showing in the top right corner. So let's move further. So first thing that we need to make sure that we are on the Avalanche Fuji Testnet from our MetaMask. And then we have to select the environment as injected provider MetaMask in the left menu of Remix, and then it will show the current wallet, that is the current account that we are using currently, which is in my case starting with 31D and ending with B24, and it will showcase the same balance that you are seeing over here, 1.0722 AVX, 1.0722 Ether. So Ether is basically the native token representation of any network. So we can just start by typing the message that we want to pass as the initial message at the time of deployment. I am using hello world and exclamation mark. Then you can click on transact. So hello world exclamation mark, then you can click on transact and it will pop up the MetaMask. So now we can just confirm the transaction. So one thing that you might have noticed that when we were doing the deployment and interaction using the Remix VM, like the local VM environment of the Remix, then it wasn't popping up MetaMask or anything, and it's just doing the transaction just on one click, because like it was using the local wallet, like the local setup and everything, and but in this case it's using our account, so that's why it needs confirmation for any transaction that we do. So every time you click on any orange button which is corresponding to any transaction or any state change, then it will pop up the MetaMask to confirm the same. So once you confirm, then only it will proceed with the transaction, and then only you will see this green tick mark over here and the corresponding transaction. So it means our contract is deployed successfully. So now we can either copy this transaction hash or we can copy this contact address. Let me just copy the contact instance that we get from here, the address of the same, because it's showing the similar thing that we were interacting with previously on Remix VM. And you can also click on read message. It will show the initial message that we have passed at the time of deployment, and update message function is also there, and the dummy pure function that we have created. So everything is just same. We can just pass any random values and see. So it's just doing the sum of these two numbers. And now we can just quickly copy this address of our contact and go to, let me open a new tab and type in testnet.snowtrace.io. So we can just go to this testnet.snowtrace.io. So the page that you are seeing right now, the testnet.snowtrace.io, is basically the block explorer for Avalanche Fuji Testnet, the testnet that we are using. So it's similar to Etherscan that you might know. So Etherscan is for the Ethereum network, but for Avalanche it's Snowtrace. So for testnet it's testnet.snowtrace.io, and for mainnet is without testnet, it's just snowtrace.io. So if you just remove the testnet part, then you will be redirected to the mainnet explorer. But we have to, but we have deployed our contact on testnet, so we have to search on the testnet explorer. So that's our contact address that I have just pasted, and you can click enter. It will show the corresponding details of the deployed contact. So the thing that you are seeing over here is the contact bytecode. So you are not seeing any contact functions and all because the contact is not verified. We can also verify the contact by clicking on this. We will do that later. And in the transactions tab, you are seeing the contact creation transaction as of now, which has happened 4 minutes ago when we deployed this contact. So it's corresponding to our action that we did for this. Like when we click on this deploy button, the transact button, then it deployed the contact instance, and the transaction that you are seeing over here, it's corresponding to that only. So now let's test. So now let's test one more thing. Let's test this update message function. We can just write hello Chainlink. So what I want to show you is, I want to show you like another transaction in the transactions tab. So all these transactions are corresponding to this particular contact instance, like with whose address is starting with 0x800 and ending with 27E4. So all the transactions corresponding to this contact will show in the corresponding address page on the block explorer, that the transactions tab. So you can just click on this transact and it will just update the message state variable. That's why it's showing this MetaMask transaction confirmation. And when we click on confirm, then you can see like now it's waiting, because it's waiting that transaction to be added onto the next block. So the transaction is added. Now we can just quickly go back to our Snowtrace page and just refresh it. Then you can see like another transaction corresponding to our update message function call. We can also open this and click on this, and then you can see the update message, the input data, and then you can also decode the same. You can see the message that we passed over here, and the transaction fees and everything. The from address is our wallet address, and to address is the contact address with which we are interacting, which is this particular contact address. And it happened 31 seconds ago, and this is the transaction hash, and that's the status, and that's the block number in whichever transaction is included, and that's the block confirmation that you are seeing. It means after our transaction has happened, that many blocks have been added. And you can go back, and then you can see we are seeing only two transactions over here. One is corresponding to the contact creation, and the second one is corresponding to the update message function call. But for this function, we are not seeing any transaction because it's a pure function. So for view and pure functions, we don't see any transactions. And even for the read message function, we don't see any transactions. So I hope it's clear to you. I think that's it for this tutorial. I will see you all very soon in the next one. Thank you.
So, I hope you guys have successfully deployed your first smart contract and got to know some basics of Solidity programming language. In the next tutorial, we'll be integrating Chainlink price feed into our simple smart contract and then retrieve the price feed data for a particular asset pair. If you want me to cover something exclusively from any Chainlink documentation or tutorial, then you can definitely let me know in the comments. I will try to record that video on a priority basis for you. Moreover, if you want to learn in depth about blockchain basics or Solidity smart contract development, then you should definitely check out the beginner level courses on Cypherin Updraft, where the best Web3 educators like Patrick Collins themselves are teaching, and that too for completely free. So that's it for this tutorial. I will see you all very soon in the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.